Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
I love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
A couple Saturdays ago, A&M got up on South Carolina 22-2, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily the turning point, but it basically was like, you know, we're keeping you at bay. And I know that South Carolina made it a 5-point game, I believe, but it was a wrap. A couple weeks later, Florida, what was it? How big was the lead?
Well, the thing was, it wasn't so much what Florida did.
What A&M couldn't do?
It's what A&M wasn't doing.
Yeah.
Because A&M shot is about as bad as I've seen. And it was 11-point game at half, and could have been, maybe even should have been closer.
Yeah.
And yet, so they're still in it despite just putting on a miserable shooting performance.
What was it, 7% from the three line in the first half?
Yeah, they were 1 of 14.
Yeah.
And I think they made their either the first or second attempt. So then they missed like a dozen in a row. And I think they shot like 17% from the field and was only down 11.
You could be playing Helen Keller, Stevie Wonder, and Ray Charles and shoot 7% and might lose that game. You're taking on the national champions with 3 7-footers who did not allow A&M to hit the paint at all, right? Like they
scored on 48-24.
Right, and there was this void, like where you felt like you couldn't go. Like, I just can't attack.
I wasn't sure what. This is not being critical of Bucky McMillan. I'm just saying, look, if I'm Logan Lee up there, I probably figured this out. I couldn't kind of ascertain what the actual game plan was.
Yeah.
Because now maybe they were handcuffed there because they're just missing. They were missing some open threes, and that was the frustrating part. And then I'm seeing guys who are between 6 feet and 6'3" and 6'4" going in consistently against not just 7-foot guys and 6'10" guys, good 7-foot and 6'10" guys. And then I thought,
all SEC player potentially.
Yeah, some NBA type players, I think. And then I think I saw a team get a little bit intimidated.
Yeah.
And it was just look, let's call it what it is. It was a country butt kicking.
Now, the narrative out there from people who don't like A&M was exposed. A&M was not exposed.
Was Alabama exposed when they played Florida and lost by 23?
Well, but A&M's only taken on the weak teams. Okay, look, A&M.
Are they doing that in basketball too?
Yeah, they are. This is what they do. Everyone that doesn't like our team, and then we do it to others too. It's called being a fan and being a fake analyst. And I saw some real fake analysts tweeting about coaches, but we'll get into that on the other side. By the way, we'll get into that in a minute. But to me, I did not think A&M was better than Florida heading into this game.
I told Luke I thought before the game that Florida would win by 20.
But my point is, I was hoping this, hey, you're at home, you get hot, you never know, right? Like, I think A&M is a better team than I expected, but I don't think they're of that ilk. Doesn't mean that they can't go win these next 3-4 games, find a way, get back into first place. I'm not disillusioned in thinking that this is a national championship Final Four contending team. I do think that this is a team that can beat anybody when they're hot.
I think and that's just it against Florida. They were so far from hot, they were frigid, they were polar.
Yeah.
In their shooting, and I get it. It's one thing if you're out there and you're trying to shoot a 3-pointer over a 6'10" guy who's got his arms extended, and it affects your shot.
Sure.
If A&M needed to have a chance to win that game or be in it, needed to shoot well from 3-point range.
Yeah.
And there were, I think the first 3-pointer they took, I think it was Lane, and he got it at the top of the key and had time to kind of set his feet and think about it and miss. Now, look, that happens to everybody. I'm not singling him out, but that's just an example. I don't mean to single him out, I should say. But that's just an example of they didn't shoot well. And even Coach Bucky come out and said, I think we were maybe too amped up.
Yeah.
And it looked to be the case.
Look, it was a bad day at the office. Hopefully they don't have many more of these. And they're a very fun team to watch that if they don't do what they do well, they're not going to win games. By the way, newsflash, most teams, if they can't do what they're really good at, will lose games.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. If a team is a really good rebounding team and they get demolished on the rebounds, they might lose.
I think the frustrating thing is not that they lost, because I think anybody who follows basketball, SEC basketball, and has a just reasonably objective opinion, was picking Florida to win that game. I mean, again, they don't just have a bunch of 7-footers. They have a bunch of 7-footers that can actually play.
Yeah.
And so in A&M, again, you got your 6'8" guy and, in Aggie, and I know Clements is 6'11", but he typically plays outside. He's not an inside force, let's say. So is a, quote, tall order that they were facing. That said, the shooting hasn't been that porous all year, not to that degree.
Yep.
I mean, that was alarming. I mean, it looked like a Buzz Williams throwback without the offensive rebound.
I'm not surprised that they lost the game. I'm not surprised they lost by 21. It's the way it felt. And I hate talking about this in the first segment, but I'm going to.
Okay.
To me, when you're a sports fan, you see things through your team's lens, right?
Yeah.
So I see a lot of Florida people coming after A&M for being classless, for some flagrant fouls in a basketball game, which, you know what I'm talking about, right? The Griffin, the late foul, which, the classless, and then, but my point is the coach who came over to Griffin and to the others, you know what I'm talking about, right? You know the video I'm talking about? I should have told Nick to cue it up.
The assistant coach.
The assistant coach from Florida, who I thought made a fool of himself. I've read a lot of good stuff about him. Apparently he's going to be a head coach soon. He's amazing, great recruiter, great man. Cool. Don't parent my kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Do not come and talk to my kids.
Right.
You can go talk to my coach. You can say, hey, I thought that those fouls were classless. You got to get, and that could be its own controversy. Mm-hmm. Don't come to my players ever.
Right.
Have class. That is not class.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Florida has in all sports, well, I shouldn't say all sports, in football, basketball, even baseball has and their general fandom has a reputation for being, for lack of a better way to put it, because I don't have this huge vocabulary, classless. I can remember one time years ago talking to a fan of LSU of all places, right? And they were LSU was offended by some Florida. Yeah. I mean, think about that. And I said, yeah, they've got a bad reputation. The guy said, yeah, they've earned it. And they have. That guy, I was on a plane with an Alabama guy Alabama was talking about how bad the Florida. So it's just part of that.
Was the Griffin foul that
I don't even remember it being that.
It wasn't cool. They fouled him. He didn't give him a flagrant one for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He got penalized for it. It was not cool. Was it that do I have too many Aggie goggles on?
It wasn't like a flagrant.
It wasn't like a guy's about to dunk and you tackle him, right? It was just a little elbow to the back.
Which, by the way,
in a game that they were losing by 20.
I can remember that was when that was almost accepted, right? Basketball's so soft now.
I'm not saying I was okay with it.
Right.
He got fouled.
I'm not saying you're not saying he shouldn't have got the foul.
No, and I think Bucky, hey man, you got to calm down. Fine. Right. But was it? And did Clements have a foul? Maybe I'm not remembering the Clements foul. Was he? Why was Golden coming after Clements.
I don't even remember. Golden is a
Golden Buffoon?
He's a kind of a punk.
Really good coach.
But you know what? He's got a team. And look, I was talking to a guy, and Golden apparently was getting in it with some of the fans, and they never. I'm going to take Golden's not side, but point of view on this. Why was Golden got something going on with the fans? Now, the guy was talking about how bad Golden was, and maybe he is and was, but what did the fans say
to get that response?
So, it's a two-way street sometimes.
Yeah. And maybe I don't understand what led up to it. There could be stuff, but I watched the game. I see this foul. I didn't like it. He was penalized for it, if you will, for lack of a better term. Maybe Golden says something in the post-game press conference. I think it's classless that they foul my guy, and they're down 20, but whatever. And that's the end of it. But to come after I've seen way worse fouls.
If I was a basketball coach, first of all, my teams would be terrible. But if I was a basketball coach, I would have an assistant coach, kind of like Joe Wilbert. Now, Joe Wilbert was a really good player here back in the 90s, really good. Yeah. So it would have to be a guy that actually knows his craft.
Yep.
But Joe Wilbert, I once saw when some Texas Tech fans charged the floor and was assaulting Tony Baroni. I saw with my own eyes Joe Wilbert come over and hit a guy and knock him out. I mean, literally knock him out.
I'm a big fan of that.
I would have at least one coach on my staff that can knock the other guy out if there's a problem.
Another thing I'd like to say, and this is because I'm an old man. Okay. You're an old man too. I am not a big fan of celebrating on somebody's logo. And that's even if my team does it.
Right. In fact, a coach like Golden should be getting, as soon as they start that, should be getting their team off the court. Now, at the same time, I'll come back and say, it's classless and you shouldn't do it. But if you want to stop it, make your open shots and make that a game, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I'm sure I think we have some Florida fans on our YouTube page. Welcome to the show. Thanks for our NIL. Congratulations on your victory, and props to A&M for beating you guys in the other sports. But again, I thought it was classless. You want to come to our show, you're going to get it from an A&M perspective. I am not going to a Florida show. I'm just not. Whatever. You guys have your perspective. I have mine.
Yeah. Not since Tom Petty passed. No Florida shows for me. I'm sure there's somebody from Florida I would like.
Oh, my cousins, they may be watching. Lourdes and Juan, they went to Florida. They got class.
Okay. I'm sure the players there have class. Probably never go to it.
Well, that's the era we're in right now.
Yeah, I know. I just thought it'd be a good shot.
Hey,
but it missed like most of A&M shots the other day.
By the way, this is TexAgs Live.
Brought to you by the gem of a guy, David Gardner's Jewelers.
We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio.
Yeah, Jason, Jackson, Keith, Morgan, and the boys, and
the
some
girls.
Women that I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of them. And this hour has a name. We call it the Go Hour.
The Go Hour, brought to you by the Warehouse at CC Creations.
This area that we're sitting in, which we'll probably sit in all hour long.
Okay.
We call it the Holistic Planning
Cool Zone.
It's so cool to be at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
Yeah, it's a bit warm in the building, but it's cool here.
If you want to call the show, you can do it multiple ways. If you're a Florida fan, you're like, I'm going to tell you why I think you were classless. Go ahead. Whatever. Just don't curse. 979-693-1150. We call that
the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
Got to do both.
Yeah, both of them.
And if you want to text the show with an anonymous name and pretend like you're not a real person and have real tough thoughts, you can do that on the
Catalyst
Pure Performance Energy
Hotline.
Text line. 979-693-1150.
Free throw line.
We go around the room. We go left to right. We go behind the glass, and we say hi to Nick Savage. Nick, good morning.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
How are you, bud?
I'm good. I think y'all said all there is to say about that Florida game. I share every opinion y'all have said, but what do you think about the early thoughts about the Super Bowl yesterday? Maybe the most boring of all time? Question mark.
I feel like we say that often, but I didn't have a lot of interest going into the Super Bowl. I didn't have a lot of interest during the game. I like seeing Kenneth Walker run well.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, I remember covering him. Well, covering.
There's at
him.
one point where I was like, "Is the kicker going to win MVP?"
I was saying that myself.
Yeah. It was. Is this Nick's way of trying to get into the halftime show?
No, I was actually going to say in there, I'm not talking about the halftime show, but if you insist, David, go ahead.
It was good. Not for everybody.
Didn't see it. Not for me. I wasn't seeing Bad Bunny, Rotten Rabbit, Horrible Hair, or Lousy Lagomorph.
More of a Kid Rock guy, OB?
I actually did watch that, and there was people on there that I didn't know that I really liked. The Lee something. Was it Lee Price? Was that his name?
Yeah, I believe so.
I thought they were good. I didn't know that woman.
Well,
and I thought she was very talented.
There's a 4 or 5 page
the message
thread on the premium board about, you know, the divide between either a Bad Bunny apologist or against it. I like his music. I've told you before, I wouldn't have picked him for the Super Bowl. Me personally, I would have picked him for the World Cup. I think Drake is supposed to perform at the World Cup. I might be wrong there. I think I would have picked Bad Bunny for that. But I like his music. I don't like politics getting involved in my music or my sports. That's just me. And I understand if you didn't like it, good for you. We love his music. We thought, and a lot of people, oh, he has no talent. Okay, he's one of the biggest stars in the world. Not for you, no problem. Watch something else. I love Kid Rock too. I told you. What was the song we were talking about? Picture?
Picture.
Sheryl Crow?
Yeah.
That song's fantastic.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of both, and my takeaway was they were both kind of boring. I didn't really like either of them.
Yeah, I didn't find the Kid Rock or the Turning Point USA. I didn't find it boring. I liked it. I enjoyed the music. But you know, it's America, and you have options, and you're free to choose what you want to watch. I have no issue with David or anybody else watching Bad Bunny, and if anyone has any issue with me decide not to watch something else, well, you can.
We talked about this before the show, so we'll redo it, OB.
Step off.
But I've liked Bad Bunny since
I've known you.
Right? All right.
I never even heard of Bad Bunny
until me, right? But who did I tell you? Who did I want to perform at the halftime show?
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, I just thought he would have been. But I love Bad Bunny. I got texts from Brent Holt, all my buddies. Hey man, that was really good. If you like it, it's good. If you don't, I don't. I didn't like Usher a couple years ago. I thought Bruno Mars was good a couple years ago. I remember, was it Aerosmith who did it?
Yeah,
years back.
Yeah.
Back then, I didn't like Aerosmith. All right, it's fine. I don't care. Whoever it is, watch it or don't.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now, we can agree or disagree whether he was a good choice, but that's the choice that the NFL made, and you can respond if you so choose not to watch it, and it might cut into their ratings and might cost them some money. And if that's the case,
or it might be a spike.
It might be.
It might be a spike.
So.
By the way, I think we've had this same talk almost every year that I've done this show because I remember in 2010 when the Black Eyed Peas performed. We didn't do the show then. People complain about the Black Eyed Peas.
We didn't work here then.
No. But I remember people complaining about them in the 2010, I think it was 2010, Super Bowl in Dallas. People complain about them.
I don't really like Black Eyed Peas unless they have ham in them.
What about the restaurant? Were you a big fan of that?
For a while. It kind of
Are they still around?
No. There might be one somewhere, but no. There used to be one right there on University.
When Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Eminem performed like 4 years ago, I loved it. You probably hated it.
I
didn't watch it.
Didn't watch it.
Yeah. So, and when ZZ Top performed, you probably loved it.
I watched it.
I was okay. See what I mean? All right, let's go check in at the Angry.
She has no idea what I'm doing.
You know what that is, Haley Dorsey?
No, she has no idea.
She's at the Angry Elephant News and Social. Hey, Haley, so last Monday.
Because she's from Midlothian and not LaGrange.
You made your debut.
I did.
I was at jury duty.
Did
you tell the people about where you came from and all that? All right, so we don't have to redo that.
No, you're good.
All
I
right.
think we mentioned, though, you being at jury duty like every segment. Like,
that sucked.
Wondering if you were coming back or not. But
well, I should probably Google the case, see if I can find out information on it. We were there till 3:00, so it was actually a longer work day.
Yeah.
Sorry. I start my work day at 4, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, Haley, what do you have for us?
Well, I know as A&M fans, we don't like to dwell on the past, but I was looking at the last time that we played for Florida, And last year, the numbers were pretty much the same. We lost by 19 points. Their field goal percentage was 39. Their 3-point percentage was 29. And so I know that it was buzz at the time, and now we have like a rebranded team, but I'm curious to see how they are able to adjust for these next few games going into the rest of the conference.
Yep, that's all that matters now.
Yeah, look, they
beat
kicked
Missouri.
They kicked their tails in.
They did. And again, the frustrating part, at least some of it, not all of it, because look, Florida's better than A&M, okay, in basketball, but some of it was self-inflicted. You got to make shots at some point.
Yeah.
Even Bucky McMillan said, deep down, I was at some point kind of laughing, and not a humorous way, like in a frustrated kind of way, like, how's this happening? But anything else?
The last time that they lost 2 consecutive games, they went 5-0.
Right.
So again, could we see another run like this for the rest of their conference? They've got Missouri on Wednesday and then Vanderbilt on Saturday.
Yeah, if you come back and win 2 at the beginning of this 5-game stretch, I would say, man, if you went 2-3, that's acceptable. But if you could go 3-2, so that's still in play.
This Missouri game, it's not the biggest game of the season by any stretch, but it is a pretty big. I haven't done that in forever.
I know you haven't.
It's been a minute. Thank you for bringing it back.
Thought to bring it back.
Yeah, I'm a big Larry David guy.
So how big would it be?
Pretty big.
Yep.
You have any idea about that?
Y'all think Missouri or Vanderbilt would be bigger?
Well, both of them, but Missouri's bigger because it's the next one.
True.
Yeah, Missouri.
Coach. Thanks,
And
Coach.
yeah, you want to end the 2-game losing streak. Missouri is I think, a winnable game.
Well, I'll say this. You need to always, especially moving forward, protect your home court. It's understandable when you lose on the road in the SEC.
Yeah.
But you need to protect your home court. And so that's one of the things that makes maybe this one against Missouri even bit bigger than Vanderbilt, even though Vanderbilt's
the better team. By the way, I keep reading that Duke Miles is out. Do we know how long he's out? Because I think he should take a break.
I heard
just in case.
I heard them talking about it on I was watching some of their game against Oklahoma.
Okay,
they lost.
Yeah,
that was a crazy game. And I think I heard them say they expect him to be out a couple more weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tough break.
Interesting. Well, I mean, after Bediako played for Alabama, A&M might receive a break, but beat whoever's in front of you, no matter who's out there.
Hey, let's run the table from here on out.
All right. Thank you, Haley. We'll come back to you shortly. Let's hit a break. So when my team loses by 20, and my team shoots 7% from the 3 in the first half, and I'm just feeling battered, especially because of my musical choices, I need to feel better, OB.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what you should do? You should go to 1775 for some Texas barbecue, because that 1775 barbecue is like music to your mouth.
So I think we could do this, OB. Let's just, you take me.
And it's not bad brisket. It's incredible brisket.
Yeah, it's not
like a bad bunny. It's bad. It's not bad brisket. It's great, but it's badass brisket is what it is.
BAB, badass brisket. I'm sure they want that on a T-shirt.
Maybe.
So I think we invite Kid Rock, Bad Bunny, yourself, me, and we go eat some Texas barbecue at 1775.
Yeah. Invite you and Kid Rock, and go have some. And your buddy guy, and have some of that 1775. If you want to bring people together, which is what Roger Goodell was saying. Hey, we just want to bring unity and people together
by dividing.
Yeah, the best way you can bring people together is break bread or brisket at 1775, because it's succulent brisket, by the way.
BAB.
And they have those amazing pork ribs and the jalapeno cheese sausage. Bad Buddy probably like that. And then that pulled pork and the turkey. And that.
Why would he like that?
Jalapeno cheese. There's some queso, Latin, jalapenos kind of go together.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah. 979-492-6241 or go to 1775txbbq.com.
It's good.
I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst
Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst.
Paint it black.
Welcome back in. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. We did have a basketball team win against a ranked team.
That's right. The women.
The women do it. Let's go to Haley Dorsey there at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Give us some of the specifics, if you don't mind.
Well, they snapped a 6-game losing streak against number 21 Alabama, despite there being 13 lead changes, and this was their first ranked win since Kentucky last season when they were ranked number 11. And they play Kentucky this Thursday, and they're ranked number 16.
I was impressed that one of their players had a double-double, so I was over there talking to Nagley because, I kind of struggle with some of the foreign names, and I don't want to say it wrong, so Fedmana Fedmana. I thought she said Fat Mama, but no, it's Fedmana Jenna.
Yeah.
She had, I think it was 12 points and 15 rebounds, and she's from London. And they were trying, and over there, Nick Sewage and Nagley and some of the interns were trying to encourage me to try to pronounce her name and to give her numbers with a British accent. But you know how I am with accents.
That means we have to hear it.
No. That bloody fat mama. 12 and 15. See, I can't do accents.
You started well.
Yeah, bloody.
Bloody was fantastic.
Bloody.
Obi, you don't have your notes in front of you.
I don't.
But I'll just ask you, what do you think the turning point of the game was?
It was the second half.
The beginning of the second half?
Florida outscored A&M 12-4 in the first 3.5 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, they turned that 11-point lead into like 18 or something like that, 19. You're not coming back against that Florida team when you're down 19.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing really good basketball.
The lead got up to what, 28?
Yeah. I don't think I don't think Florida's going to win the national championship this year. I don't think they're as good in the backcourt as they were last year. Yeah. But I do think that they're going to make a nice run through the NCAA tournament.
I wrote down, it was basically from the 19th minute to the 15th minute where Florida went on a 21-5 run, which is basically what you're talking about, where it was just A&M didn't score and Florida continued to score.
Yeah, they came out. I thought that A&M needed to come out strong in the second half to have a shot. And again, they're only down 11. And Florida had made a three-pointer at the buzzer for the shot clock buzzer to go up 11. And, if you miss that, and if A&M comes down, A&M didn't miss a three-point attempt. Of course, that was the theme of the first half. But if you could have transposed those two plays, then it's an absolute, it's a 5-point game. So, I thought if A&M is going to get back in this, they have to have a good start
to the second half.
But instead, it was Florida that had the fast start.
David in Temple sent in a text on the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. He says he wants to talk about the technical foul on Rylan Griffin. On the way down the court, immediately before the play resulted in the foul, the guy from Florida was jogging down the court in Ryan's face talking trash. He would say something, look away, then talk again. Ryan once looked disgusted, very slightly pushed him, not the foul, shove, entered the circle. Should have made the eventual the foul less noticeable, however. Both Elizabeth and I mentioned the scene that the screen commented on the Florida player mouthing. Again, both sides, I don't care. If a Florida player's talking trash to Rylan Griffin up 20 points, it's basketball. And if Rylan gets a stupid foul afterwards, it's basketball. Like I didn't see it as this dirty liver punch that the guy was not going to recover from. Right. And it didn't look that bad to me. He got the tech. All right, move on.
I just wonder what happened to basketball. I think it started in the NBA.
Roger Goodell's running it.
But it used to be I know it's a non-contact sport, but it was still physical.
Yeah. And
I'm not trying to excuse, look, I'm with you. If he deserved the flagrant one, fine,
Give it to him. Yeah.
No one at A&M is whining about it.
No.
It was just that it happened.
The overreaction to it.
Teams on both sides will talk, and quite frankly, sometimes there's some A&M guys that talk a lot, and I wish they wouldn't. Just go out and play basketball. But I understand that's the culture of the game.
Yep.
So it's part of it. But I don't think anybody looked at that, to my knowledge, from the A&M perspective, say, okay, they got jobbed. What they didn't, like we talked about earlier, what they did object to is the way the Florida coach acted, the way they were trying to whatever at the logo and things. It's just not necessary.
Yeah.
I would hope A&M would not do the same.
Yeah. I don't want another coach, unless it's praise, don't come talk to my players.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like, you could come to me and say, hey, I got to, like, can you imagine somebody trying to parent Quinn when he was a little kid that you don't know?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, it's different. Like,
oh, yeah. I've well, not because they were parenting him, but, I've told you one time somebody was complaining about him as a baby crying on the airplane. All the East Texas redneck in me came out.
Yeah. But like somebody that I don't know coming to tell me how my kids need to behave.
Yeah.
Oh, well, tell me. I'll handle that. That's no problem. Coming to my kids and telling them what's up, being a Karen, that's Karen behavior, Florida. So you're a bunch of Karens.
The Florida Karens.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's another T-shirt we could make a lot of money on. The Florida Karens. That guy's face. And look, like people are talking about that one instance of Ryland Griffin saying what kind of guy he is. Just like that coach, he might be salt of the earth. I don't like the way he handled it.
I don't call Florida Karens. Usually I use a male name that would be kind of associated with kind of if you kind of envision the shape of Florida, the state itself. And there's kind of a name that's kind of the name that I use.
It's like a
typically
finger.
when I'm talking. Or some other appendage.
How do I transition to Rollo Insurance?
I think you just...
If you break a finger, you might have an insurance claim.
Oh.
But that goes through your home or your work insurance probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have a car accident...
And break your finger in a car accident.
You probably need car insurance
you
beforehand.
Definitely need car
right?
insurance.
Yeah. So you call Jason Jackson and the boys, right? Yeah. That's the only way I can transition from breaking a finger to that. And Rollo Insurance is my insurance provider. They are the official insurance provider of TexAgs Live. They were of this show before when it was called TexAgs Radio. They're the best. 60 offices in the great state of Texas. You've got a team that's going to make sure that they know your situation. Whoever your person is, man or woman, they got both working there, by the way, they will take care of you because they'll know your situation. They'll know your name. They'll know your family. You'll have their direct phone number. You can call them, and they'll talk you through the entire process. The difference is real with Rollo Insurance. Check out the website, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. Matt Tackle on the YouTube page corrected me.
Matt Tackle?
Yeah, Matt Tackle. First, last name.
There's a name.
Yeah.
Matt Tackle.
Can't
Play
tackle
football?
at all. No.
Okay.
No. That
Goes fishing, I guess?
No, he's a good
Does
dude.
Tackle box?
He corrected me.
Okay.
He said there's never been a Super Bowl in Dallas. Okay.
Oh, did you say there was?
Yeah, the Super
It was
Bowl.
in Arlington.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, come on. That's semantics.
All right, and here's the thing. Actually,
the Dallas Cowboys don't play in Dallas, but they play in Arlington.
Right, and also that Super Bowl in particular, I covered it. All the festivities, all the headquarters was in downtown Dallas. So technically, the Super Bowl, it's like the cool zone. The holistic planning, it travels.
It travels.
Every year it travels, believe it or not. And the last time was in San Francisco, I think 2014. I might be wrong on the year, around that era. I went. That's when J.J. Watt, I think, won his first Defensive Player of the Year.
Do you know the Super Bowl was once held at Rice Stadium?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I think that was
Super Bowl III, maybe?
No, it would have been like 7 or 8.
Okay.
I think it was Steelers and Vikings.
It's a big. I mean, it used to be considered big.
16-7, something like that.
Yep. You a Kirk Herbstreit guy? I know that in 2020 we weren't because he didn't like A&M, but I feel like he came around a little bit.
He's all right. I think he's okay. I think Kirk's kind of made himself the conscience of college sports, and I know he does pro too.
Yeah.
And I think he's taken himself a little bit too far, but I don't have a major problem.
Yeah, I think he's good. He says that there should be a 3-step plan to fix the real problems in college football. Would you like to go over them?
Yes, let's hear it.
All right. He says, A, we need a commissioner for college football.
Agree.
B, or C, 2, collective bargaining with the players.
Okay.
And 3, the Power 4 conferences need to break away and form their own league.
I've been saying that for 20 years.
So a little bit more on that. He says, now it's all about the CFP, and we're governing this sport with conference commissioners who are worried about their own regions and their own constituents. No one's looking at the entire country saying what's best for college football. He goes on to say, could you imagine the AFC South had a commissioner, the NFC South had a commissioner, the AFC East had a commissioner, and all the way around. And that's basically what we have, is we have everybody for their territory advocating, which they should in this current construct, they should. But to fix, if it really is about the college football playoffs, there needs to be a governing voice who does what's best for the sport.
Right. Everybody has, I mean that's been said for years, but then I think everybody, when I talk about, say everybody, different conferences are all concerned that, well, what if I get the short end of the stick?
Yep.
You know, I heard somebody one time say it's like a group photo. You look at the group photo and you say, if I look good in the group photo, it's a great group photo.
It's a great group photo, yeah.
But if I got my eyes closed or a finger in my nose, it's a horrible group photo.
We have, like, our family will take a photo, and then one of the kids say, erase that, I don't look good in it. Like, dude, I look great. My guns look awesome in this pic.
I'm sure. You're probably like this, doing the crab or something in your grip. In fact, I bet you're a family photo of the Nuños, probably everybody's breaking into the crab or doing the javelin pose. Or,
no, we're all doing the plank on top of each other. Yeah, that's what we do.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Who's on bottom?
I am.
Okay.
Well, carry the weight of the family, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
Supporting the family.
That's what I try to do. So he goes on to say collective bargaining with the players. I guess. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I don't want my players being employees. I don't want, but I do want some kind of, like, restrictions from the free market of moving whenever you want to. So I don't know how you fix that.
Well, again, I think they're on the road with the contracts and saying, hey, you're going to sign this. It's going to be a 2 or 3 year deal.
Yeah.
Not just one. And if you try to get out of it, there's going to be a buyout involved, because as we see, players are trying to get out of them.
Yeah.
But you know what? All that sounds reasonable to me from Kirk Herbstreit. That all makes sense. The thing about the contracts, though, the players are still going to be able to, because of the Supreme Court, are still going to be able to make money off the side.
Yep.
Because they have a collective bargaining agreement in the NFL, but the players still, that doesn't prevent players from making money on the side and endorsements.
But here's a stupid question. We've discussed it. I know the answer, but I'm still going to ask it. NIL isn't really a big. It doesn't shake. It doesn't cause a seismic shift with pro players. Sometimes it does. Oh, I want to go to New York. There's more media. There used to be more media opportunities in LA. I'll go to LA. Mm-hmm. But like you don't like the Subway commercial, the car dealership commercial isn't why certain players move to another market in the pros.
Right. But
I ask you why, Olin
They
Buchanan.
make more money in the pros. And they're drafted to a team. I've always said the biggest difference to me in the NFL and college football is in the NFL, the teams pick the players, and the college, the players pick the team.
So in this Power 4 model, would there be a draft?
No.
It'd still be the recruiting.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also goes on to say he thinks Nick Saban should be the guy. And I know you're against it.
I don't know.
Let me read what he says.
Nick Saban's always been very
pro-Bama?
Pro Nick Saban. I can remember when he was saying, "Oh, we need to do away with that fast style of football because I don't like to play it." Is this really what we want football to become? Maybe, maybe not. But it's not. It's not your place to say, "Oh, tell somebody else this is your style of play." You can't play it
right
within the rules.
People can say he's got an Alabama twist, but if you really know Nick Saban, he's got a college football twist. He cares about the players. He cares about the sport.
I guess. Don't know him close enough. I know he said A&M bought all their recruits.
21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then try to backtrack it.
I think there could be worse people to run it.
Oh, without a doubt, there could be worse people. I think you got to find someone that loves the game, has played, and is the highest integrity.
I don't know. I honestly don't know right now of a better option than Nick Saban. I'm not saying that he's a bad option either. I understand your reasons against it, right? I remember those 2012 comments when Sumlin brought that style of offense to A&M. I understand that. I think people can grow and change in different roles. But who would be a better choice? Answer that on the other side, because we do got to hit a break. But think about it. Who would be a better choice than Nick Saban?
Okay.
All right. We'll talk about that on the other side. Right now, we're talking about our friends at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. There's car buying, then there's car buying at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They have a strong and committed sales staff, bringing decades of experience to the table with one goal: complete customer satisfaction. And no matter who you are, when you go there, you're going to be blown away with the incredible customer service that you get before, during, and after the process. They don't just make sales, they build relationships, and that's why they offer complimentary pickup and delivery for their service customers, because they know that your time is valuable. And the Caldwell Country Chevrolet promise is simple. They treat every customer like family. It's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan, through the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. Hey friends, David Nuño here for Prize Picks. They're back on TexAgs, prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. And Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Football season's here, basketball coming up, baseball, you name it. You go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs and start having some fun watching sports, making some money on there. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Remember, they'll give you $50 in lineups once you play $5 lineups on Prize Picks. And they have the new thing. It's called It's Good to Be Right campaign, and they're kicking off the upcoming NFL season with their bold new campaign, It's Good to Be Right. The seasonal long push celebrates the thrills of getting it right, from the perfect prediction to winning your Prize Picks lineups. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, we're back. Hey, I know I asked you a question about who would be better than Nick Saban, but I want to read a couple of chats and just give you a moment. This is from Asa Brini, who is from Mayberry, by the way. Says, basketball season is collapsing. Wheels are falling off. I wonder where all those folks that claimed the Ags were being overlooked in the polls. And then there's a follow-up from Charlene. Yes, DN, lack of overall talent starting to catch up versus good teams. Huh.
They lost to Florida team, the defending national champion, that is probably going to, at least, I don't think they're going to win it, but I think they're going to have a nice run to the NCAA tournament. And they lost on the road by 3 to Alabama. We'll see where it goes from here, but I don't think I'm ready to start saying it was all a mirage.
What were they picked to finish this year?
13th.
Okay. Anything above 13 seems to be progress from what that's not what they envisioned. They envisioned to go to the NCAA tournament and hopefully have a good run. As of right now, I think they're doing better than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
Even entering this stretch, entering this stretch, I thought they could win the Bama game. I didn't think they were going to win the Florida game. And I hope that they get a couple more during this stretch. It's a full season. There are some ebbs and flows. I will remind people that last year's A&M team had a 5-game losing streak at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So, I still won't. Last season was fun, right?
Yeah.
You get to the NCAA tournament, you win a game, you should have won a second game. If this team gives us that, success.
Oh, I think first of all, I think they've already been successful based on what projections were. And then if they get into the tournament, no matter what happens, that's amazing. I can't think of anybody. So I guess Nick Saban. I've always thought Oliver Luck would be good.
Oliver Luck would be good.
There's a senator out of Utah, Burgess Owens, that I respect a lot.
Okay.
He seems real smart, but you got to find somebody, I think, with a business acumen and maybe even some law acumen as well.
Billy Liucci.
Billy Liucci.
Hunter Goodwin, actually.
The GOAT.
How about Hunter Goodwin?
Billy Goat.
Billy Goat. Hunter, would you like to be the commissioner of college football? I think you'd be great. All right, that'll do it for the Go Hour. Thank you, Obi.
Yeah.
When we come back, baseball season is here. Michael Earley will be in studio. Ryan Brauninger will be in studio. I will be in studio. We'll talk to you in a few. And we are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Baseball season is here. And to break it all down, Ryan Brauninger joining me in studio as we talk to Michael Earley. Coach Earley, how are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, man. Good to see you, man.
You too. Good to be back. We're back, right?
Bronny,
I'm chopped liver, though.
Bronny,
I haven't seen this guy in forever.
I mean, I see you in the background. You were around.
No, I have not been around. It's okay. This is about Coach Earley, not me.
Yeah, you're right. How do you make it about you when Coach Earley's in studio?
I've learned from the best.
Well,
you and Billy.
Coach Earley, let's I don't know if excited is the right word. How ready are you for this new season to start and where the team is?
You know, I think the hardest week of coaching is like last week. You get there and you get to this week, and then it's just the anticipation of all the work you've put in and all the hard work the guys have put in and the staff and everyone, and it's time to go. And baseball is such a different sport. Like, so many things change throughout the year, but there's nothing like opening day. And Major League Baseball, college baseball, so it's as fun as Christmas to me.
Everybody's asked you 1,000 times, what have you learned? What do you know now that you didn't know last year? Well, I'm not going to get into that, but what I do want to ask you is, we had all these players come in and we talked to them about changes within the program, and they talk about doing the uncommon thing.
Common things uncommonly well.
That's right. And so there seems to be some ethos or some main focal points that you have given to these kids in the fall. How do you feel like the buy-in has been?
Oh, it's been great. And there's not really an option not to be, but they've been awesome, man. I got a great leadership. You know, it starts with guys like Gavin, Shane, Stewie, and then a guy like Chris Akopian is really coming to his own, and guys respect a ton. So my voice can only be, mine is so consistent that it gets monotonous to them. So it's about them like trickling down and saying the same things. And it's great. That's what you need. You need a language of a program, and our guys have done a really good job with it.
And then you talked about Gavin and Shane, and these guys that are coming back off of injury. You can look at it through the lens of being an older guy that's been around the game and now out of the game, and you're looking at it through a coach's lens. But do you feel like their approach has been different now that they had a year taken from them?
100%. I mean, that's why I traveled them on every road trip, right? Because I wanted them to see it, be a part of it. And I mean, this is such a mentally tough game, as you know. And there's times when you're in it, you wish you weren't playing, and as soon as it gets taken away from you, you get a perspective that you could not gain. And not saying that any of them felt like that, but if you've ever played baseball, you can love it and you can hate it, and sometimes you don't want to do it, and then it gets taken away from you, and you realize, oh man, sometimes you need that. Even if you don't need it, it just opens your eyes to how much you love playing.
And I was listening to you with Coach Mr. Monaco on your coach's show from Rudy's, and you were talking about I wish I didn't have to go through that last year, but now looking at it today, I'm grateful that I did. What went into that gratefulness that you had to go through that?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't learn in life through shortcomings, then you're not really living. And I think, I would change it for the fans, for the players, but I wouldn't change it for me, just because I can't explain to you the person I am now compared to at this time last year. So it's everything happens to you for a reason, and I'm glad for all of it. I just wish it was different for other people.
In broadcasting, they say finding your voice. Do you feel like through that you found your voice in coaching, like a different voice, a different authority, a different leadership style?
Yeah, I think I found that, there was a part of that last year midseason for me, honestly. So, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? So I think I said this my first time on here. I'm done learning, man. We're going to start winning, and we got a really good team. Really excited to get them out on the field. We did a remarkable job, keeping some of these guys and bringing some of these new guys in and really flipping the script on, recruiting after a tough season is what it is. And I thought we did about as good a job as you could do. And I think you'll see that with a lot of the new faces and some of the freshmen we got to school.
Well, let's dive into that, because there's some major competitions going on positionally, but I want to start on the mound, which Jason Kelly leading the pitching staff, and out goes Prager, Lampkin, and Miles Patton. And every one of these pitchers that comes in here and does these interviews with us talks about, man, it's just a different personality. It's a different group of guys in the pitching staff. Where are you at in terms of the three guys that are going to lead the line in terms of weekend starters? And then how do you feel about the overall group, just the difference in personalities and what the fans may see out of this pitching staff?
Yeah, we haven't let them know that yet, so I'm not going to say it, but it's going to be, Shane, Weston, Aiden are, they're leading the way. Freshcorn's right there. Darden's right there. Those guys are going to find that out today. So they're great. I mean, they're great. It's a different personality. I mean, those guys were awesome too. These guys are just, a little more, I'd say a little more emotion. You know, guys we had last year a little more stoic, which is great. Part of me prefers that, but part of me likes the guy you want in a bar fight too. So, and Shane's like that, Weston's like that. Like, you're going to see some fire out of them that you might not have seen before. And they just got to learn to control it and channel it in the right direction. So it's a little more, I want to say hard-nosed because those guys are tough players, but they're really, really gritty, and sometimes you see it.
And what I've said is I think y'all have raised the floor of the pitching staff. But with that, you're going to have to find some answers to get to the ceiling, right? And so you look at guys that you brought in, and Ethan Darden was one of them, and Juan Vargas, but even these freshmen, Hunter Vincent and Cole Hubert, how do you feel like those guys have progressed, the newcomers to the pitching staff, to help you get to the ceiling, whereas when you have obviously raised the floor?
Yeah, they've done an awesome job. And if you look back on, if you just look at Shane and Weston, like if those two guys were in the portal, that's arm 1 and 2 in the portal this year with how, to me, my opinion, how the arms were. So retaining them was huge, more than anything else. And these young guys who've come in and the new guys, I think everyone's just done a good job of being on the same page. Like, their work ethic and how they go about their day-to-day is really, really good. They've been super consistent, and they got a good vibe about them. I don't know what it is. I don't go in the bullpen a ton, but there's something about what they're doing that's really, really cool.
How is Shane?
He says he's 125%. So Shane's great. Shane is about, as Brownie knows, is about as competitive, confident, but humble as it gets. Like, he is a perfect combination of what you need. So he's been trending up. It's been a long road for him, and I'm just excited to see him get back out there.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have to, even a guy that's a veteran, he'll probably have to, might take him a little bit to either knock the rust off, but also settle back in.
He might throw one off the backstop and just let it all out. And
they'll probably get it. It'll probably make him dial him in.
Hit the bowl.
Nuke Liucci. And then offensively, it seems like, going through the inter squads and then, the public scrimmage, open scrimmage that you had on Saturday, that, 3 of the 4 infield positions seem like they're pretty set. 2 of the 3 outfield positions, with DH also being in a role, are pretty set. What have you seen of the competition with the guys for that infield spot, for that outfield spot in DH? Because you have to have that stuff. And I think whereas last year you went into the season and you kind of knew what it was going to be, outside of Sorrell getting banged up early, remember? Yeah. And then you put TK in, you kind of knew what it was from a very early spot.
Yeah, that was due to lack of depth.
Yeah,
right? It's competition, and what I have seen though is more than just the 7 innings to the public.
Right.
You know what I mean? We've had way more than just that. So yeah, there's competition everywhere, and it's I think you saw a bit of some freshmen yesterday that are not yesterday, but Saturday they're going to make an impact, and it's just it's been a battle like every single day changing, and you got some outfield options with Jordan Wilson's really making a push to get out there a little bit, and Boston Kellner at this point, I know he made an error on his first attempt in front of the public, but he's to this point has beat out everyone at shortstop, right? And when we don't play till Friday, so we want to keep that up. But yeah, and I mean, and Royal's right there. He's a good player, and Chris has been playing some second base, so we've been mixing some things up. Gavin's at first, Nico's at third. I'd be foolish to think you'll see Gavin at first every single day. Like, he still works at third base too. So a lot of competition, a lot of depth, and I think some versatility.
How do you go? This is, Jorian has been a guy that's been talked about. Really, you kind of look through the national media, and not a lot of people know about him still. But the upside's clearly there. I mean, this is the way I describe Jorian. It's very inexperienced. He was kind of late to the party in terms of playing high-level baseball, so he just hasn't done it against big-time arms and stuff like that. But if you're listening to this and you kind of want to put a mental picture together, it's Braden's skill set in Jace's body. I mean, that is the overall athletic profile of this kid. So how do you, as the head coach, go, what do I do to bring this guy along to make sure that it's good for him and it's good for us?
At some point, you just got to put him in there, right? And he's going to get in there. Like, the thing about Jorian, and like anyone, if you want your bat to have time, right? Because if he started today, he'd hit 7th, 8th, or 9th. If you want your bat to have time, play good defense, run the bases well, get on base any way you can. Play great defense in right field, and you're 0 for 4, but you have good at-bats, great. Like, we're not going to sacrifice defense for hitting. So like anyone, he's super talented. Yeah, you can see it when he walks up to the box. He just has a different look to him, right? I mean, even when he swings and misses, it looks cool. That type of swing. But yeah, he's got a lot of work to do. he's not raw. He's inexperienced. The difference between him and guys like Jason Braden was the high-level competition they played coming in, playing an area code, all these events. But, yeah, he's you're going to see him. I don't know when, but you'll see him probably often and hopefully for a while.
And then how have the other guys kind of competing for that spot in the outfield, Jake Dewar and then Wesley Jordan, who you brought in from Baylor, to be kind of a middle-of-the-order presence. And then Dewar was brought in as a bat-to-ball, move it, be more of a Jack Moss type of hitter. How do you feel like those guys have settled in their roles here?
They have, and you'll see Wesley, I'd say, primarily at DH. He had a shoulder deal coming in. Honestly, if he didn't have the shoulder deal, he'd be in professional baseball. And then, yeah, Jake is kind of like a Jack Moss type player. That's high praise, but that style of, stay on baseball, get hits in any counts. I think he can hit doubles and home runs, but just hit you a single.
Mm-hmm.
Hit a ball through the 6-hole, left on left, like all those things. And he's got, he's getting better in left field. We got to keep progressing.
Back to Gavin for a minute. Talk to me about the transition to first, how that came about, and also the flexibility it gives you.
It just came about because, we think we are a better team with Gavin at first because we can play Nico or Boston at third, whoever it may be. Right now it's Nico. And Gavin's a team guy. He's not one of those guys that's I play third, I play here. He's like, great. So we worked him out in the fall, pretty equal at both. And then when he got back, it's been, I'd say 60 to 75% at first base and then the rest at third. So he's been awesome. Awesome. It's great having him back. He's hit a home run and, every scrimmage of the last 3. So he looks good, man. He's as strong ever. And I never really coached him fully healthy. So it's kind of nice.
He hasn't been fully healthy. Maybe after the first fall that he was here, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, he hurt that shoulder second game of his freshman year.
So, yeah. And I'm excited because there's some mechanical changes with him. There's a little toe tap, and he's kind of gathering himself a little bit more. But I also wanted to transition from you talk about Gavin playing first and moving over from third and doing different things. And then a lot of people have asked you about Cliff Pennington's influence in the day-to-day, but what has his influence been on the infielders day-to-day?
I mean, he broke it down from like the smallest level of infield play when he first got here, just to going along with, it's not a motto, it's how we're living. It's like do the common things uncommonly well. He broke it down for them like at a really basic level, and then he takes it, what I'd say, and trains past the game. He puts in a ton of work with them, and with any coach, like they really trust him and what he says, and a lot of that's with how he's saying it, how he articulates it, and then the playing experience always helps and the resume. But he's just done a phenomenal job. And these guys are going to make mistakes, right? Like but he's made them a lot better. And I fully believe any mistake, or I know any mistake that's made will not be due to lack of preparation, right? Will not be due to that. So for him, he's just done a good job from day one of making me feel like they're really, really prepared.
And then how do the conversations and dialogue happen between you and him and calling the offense, getting prepared? So you have an opponent this week. As the scouting report gets built, how will it go? Will he have the input, hey, I think we can run here? Or is it like you're going to take it and just tell him, hey, we're going to go here? Is it back and forth? How does that work?
He has full input on what their pitchers do as far as run game, holding runners, all of that. That's his part of the scouting report. I look at more of, the pitching arsenal side of it, game plan. Some pitchers you can have a game plan against. Some pitchers you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And then J.K. and Dylan handle all things on the, the opposing hitter side of it. So, yeah, everyone has their own section. But as far as the base running, that part of the scheme, as you would say, we don't get to say that a lot in baseball. Yeah. I get jealous of that football. That's all Cliff, just because he's just really good at it.
And then you have made it a point to talk about getting back to what your offenses look like. And you and I have had side conversations, and where I told you, like, man, what got you here? What got you here was that you became one of the best hitting coaches in the country, and your offenses got to first base and they slugged. So I have seen a real focal point or a real emphasis to get back to that in your preparation and the expectation of guys when they've gotten in the box. I don't need you to break it down like the X's and O's unless you want to, but how has the buy-in to that portion of it been from, roster spot 1 to, with the hitters, 20, whatever it is? And then how have you seen that executed in the scrimmages?
Up until Saturday, it's been great. And I think the number one thing is me just being the consistent voice. Like that's buy-in is easy. Always been easy for me from a hitting perspective, right? I always have got great buy-in from guys. We were great up until Saturday, which was such an awesome thing because the only difference between all our scrimmages and Saturday was what?
People
were there, yeah.
I mean, that was not good. I mean, I know everyone likes a first pitch, don't let it go by, and I do too, but you better swing at it. And I got a good lesson for him today. Like, if you're going to swing, we were 1 for 24 on swinging at the first pitch with an average exit velo of 82. So if we swing, we want to hit it hard. 82 is not hard. So yeah, it's been great up until Saturday, but it's not due to anything except for that heartbeat getting up there a little bit. So that's why we do it, right? It's a great lesson. I'm just glad that we're able to go into a season, and we've had some rough patches in our practices leading up that are good because we fixed them, right? I don't want to go into the season like, wait for this to happen. So it's been great. It's been awesome. I think you've seen some good ones. Again, I've seen more than just the 7 innings, which there was a lot of good in there too, especially on the mound. But yeah, man, I'm just excited. We got some guys, some tough guys, some guys that really want to grind, and I think you guys are going to like the product we're going to put on the field.
I like what you said there too, because you kind of perked up, and it was a teachable moment, and you love that.
Yeah, it was good too. It's even like the you drop a fly ball because you got a new guy at second base that'll probably never let that drop again. Like that wasn't Gavin's ball. Like it was Chris's ball, and if you know Chris, you tell him something one time, it'll never happen again. But one play didn't lead to the home run. It actually, we got the 2 outs and a guy hit a single. So one play led to 4 runs. Right? That's how you lose baseball games. That's the margin of error in college baseball, and then it just heightens when you get into our league. So it's as mad as it can make you in the moment, like you need stuff to go off of, and you need teaching moments for them to understand.
Well, think about last year. How many times did you look at one specific play in a game, whether it be a bunt defense or just guys not being in the right place, and it costs you in a 1-run game?
Yeah, and you never know when it is, and it's on the positive side. Like, look how Freshcorn's outing started out, right? Gavin takes an incredible swing, hits it off the foul pole, then he gives up a hit to a first rounder, a hit to another first rounder. Like, man, you could feel like you're drowning, but he gave up 1 run that inning, and his team won 4-1. So it's just all those little things. You never know what play, what inning is going to win or lose you a baseball game. So that's why you just got to play. Just play every single out.
Before I let you go, I know obviously the goal this weekend is to win 3 games, but do you have like little micro goals that you look at in an opening weekend? Does it kind of depend on the person?
No, I just want us to play good competitive baseball, clean baseball, pitch it well. When the balls hit you, pick it up, throw it to first base, swing at strikes, take balls, and just repeat and do it all over again. And when you get off track, get back to it. And I think if we do that, I think we have a good base level of talent. We want to be beat by the other team. At whoever we're playing, we want baseball to beat us. We never want ourselves to beat us. So that's all I'm looking for.
Coach Earley, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Good to see you again, bud.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, at a break. Right now, we're talking Milliken Reserve, a farm-to-table community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got farms, they got wide open spaces, and a mission to build a healthy community around nature. They have 2,600 acres of open space, 30 miles of trails, and they have homes. An extensive network of trails throughout a wooded landscape that includes walking and equestrian paths, creeks and ponds, and gathering areas. Beautiful neighborhoods there as well. Neighborhoods at Milliken Reserve are nothing like your typical subdivisions, based entirely on that Brazos Valley landscape and heritage, closely linked to the Texas deep roots. If you want to learn more, go to millikenreserve.com. That website again is millikenreserve.com. back on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Ryan Brauninger has not been in studio apparently in months. I thought I saw you last week one day in the office.
I was in the office. I don't think I've been in studio for a radio segment. Yeah, for a few weeks. And we were late coming back from the break because we were talking. I was trying to get some parenting tips from you on how to get this joker to sleep through the night.
I think, at least for us, we all learned our technique that works. And for my 4 children, I had certain ways I'd hold them. Like I'd hold them where their stomach was on my forearm, and like I'd rock them like this. That seemed to work for my children. You'll figure out your technique.
I had that this morning because I've been seeing like a lot of people like, hey, carry him. Don't try to carry him up here.
Yeah.
Because then you have 2 hands on him. Like carry him like a football essentially. Yep. And so I was doing that this morning after I fed him and burped him, and I was walking him from his room into the living room to put him next to my wife because we're doing the sleep shifts, and so her shift was from 4 until I get back from this radio appearance, and so I was bringing him back in there after I fed him, and I was holding him like that, and I noticed that my arm was warm, and he had barfed all over my arm.
Oh, there you go.
Then all over the floor, and spit his passy out. Just, it was, a 20-foot walk.
Well, we are in 2 different seasons of life where you are entering fatherhood, and I'm always going to be a dad, but my boys are months away from graduating and beyond on their own. And when you say it goes by like that, it does not hit you until this
Can I tell
age.
you this? Like everybody's like, hey, it'll get better. Like it'll get better. This will feel like a blur. He was born on December 12th at 32 weeks. For preemies that are born that early, they don't their milestones don't start till their due date. So his due date was February 7th. So I feel like all the work that we've done, he's really only 2 days old.
Right. That's right.
Even though we've had him, he's been out in the world since December 12th. So, and it feels like he was born 4 years ago.
Yeah. Like you've aged, not physically, but mentally, right?
Oh, yeah. And the sleep deprivation stuff is real. And everybody's like, how are you dealing with it? I'm like, it just, you learn to deal with a constant, somebody's got an ice pick through your face and it's coming out the back of your head. So we're fighting through it, man. I hope that joker starts sleeping through the night soon.
I want to get to some baseball here, but I do want to say, I remember when the Twins were, I don't know, they were old enough not to be swaddled up, right? And they would not sleep unless they could hold my hand. So I had 2 cribs, and I was laying down on the floor with a finger in each crib like that. And I loved it at the moment, but I was so uncomfortable. I was like, I can't wait till they fall asleep because I need my arms back. They're falling. Yeah. And now I miss those moments. So bottle it all up, man. It's the best.
I'm trying to.
All right. Baseball-wise, I don't want to say all is good in the world, but having Coach Earley here, it felt right. Like, it's time. In fact, we should have had him on last week. I reached out to him, but you weren't around. I loved how, I don't know if calm and composed he was, but
very different from last year, right?
And I didn't get a vibe last year that was negative. Like I thought he was ready, right? But there's a different I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and
Let's move on.
I like what he said about I would never. He goes, I wouldn't trade it last year's results for me. I would definitely trade it for the players and for the fans. He said, but sitting where I'm at right now compared to 365 days ago, I'm thankful for what I went through. And look, man, for everybody, and it's going to be a constant discussion point throughout the year is, what A&M baseball is and what it will be going forward. But I can tell you this with absolute certainty is that Coach Earley is extremely self-aware. He understands that last year was not good enough. He understands that if he has another year like that, it will not be acceptable. And he has taken action to try and fix it the best he knows how. He brought in a really good assistant coach in Cliff Pennington. If you listened, he has really given everybody some specific responsibilities where I think as he was trying to last year have his hand in every pot. He was trying to be with the pitchers as much as he could while still being with the hitters, but also letting other guys talk to the hitters and still trying to do the recruiting. Like he just had too many irons in the fire. And now he is letting his coaches coach a little bit more and giving them more rope for their specific areas while also having, his thumb on the overall program. And I think that's just part of learning how to be a manager and be a head coach. He understands, and it's hard, right? When you first get something, you want to make sure that everything is perfect, and there's not enough hours in the day. You don't have enough eyeballs. You don't have enough wherewithal, the mental capacity to care about every single position every day. You have to do it as a coach, but when you in the actual day-to-day, like you just can't. Like you overwhelm yourself and you end up being a master of none. So he takes a step back, gives more responsibility to the assistants, and now he has an overall pulse on the program. Like, of course, he's got to worry about everybody on the roster from the fifth-year senior to the incoming freshman, the true freshman. Like, that's his job. But you can't worry about them every minute of their day with every minute of your day. You've got to step back and start kind of delegating and giving your coaches a little bit more responsibility. He's definitely done that. So, I've asked this question: Is Coach Earley closer to the coach he was last year, or closer to the coach he's going to be 5 years from now?
Right.
And if the answer is he's closer to the guy he's going to be 5 years from now, then that's a really good sign for this program going forward.
You mentioned the pitching staff, and tell me if I'm phrasing it correctly, that the bottom has been raised.
Yes.
Now the question is, how do they get to that ceiling?
I think what they've done is they've elevated the floor undoubtedly with the pitching staff. They've got more guys. They've got, in terms of number, in terms of quantity, they've got more guys that can get the job done. Now, some of these guys are inexperienced. Some of these guys have not done it at a P4 level. Some of them have. But it's you have a lot of potential answers to the question of what happens after your top 4 or 5 arms. They got to have those guys emerge. And so, early in the year, you might see them be a little bit like they're going to try to trot a bunch of different guys out there in different roles to see what they've got, because they believe they've got 6, 7, 8 arms that can come in and make an impact and get guys out either in the midweek or on the weekend. So you may see, a shortened outing out of Shane Sadeo on opening night for a couple of reasons. For, the fact that Shane is just now coming back, if he's the guy. This is just an example. But he's just now coming back from injury, so it's kind of a load management deal. Then you also are trying to piece together a game on Friday night. And that's why I think there's going to be Shane on Friday, because if you do have to pull him early just for load management pitch count purposes, you're going to have to use more guys to eat up those final 20, those final innings of that game. And then Saturday you're going to go with Weston Moss, who you believe can give you some depth in the game from the get-go. So it just gives those guys the bullpen arms that are going to throw Friday. They can probably bounce back and go again on Sunday. But I do think, you mentioned Cole Hubert, I mentioned Hunter Vincent, I mentioned Juan Vargas. Some of these guys on the pitching staff that are new faces, whether they be freshmen or transfers, are going to have a big impact on this season. And he mentioned Ethan Darden. And if it wasn't for, kind of the rock steady names of Shane Sadeo and Weston Moss, like Ethan Darden has pitched as well as anybody on this staff. That's Aiden Sims included, who Aiden Sims has been, you go back to the fall and in this preseason buildup, Aiden Sims has been their best guy.
Yep.
I feel pretty confident that he's going to be going on Sunday. But Ethan Darden has been really good, like probably better than what they could have hoped for out of the portal. And he was a guy that come in from Clemson that had pitched in a bunch of different scenarios as a starter, short relief, long relief, and on the back end of games. And he had racked up a ton of innings in a Power 4 conference. So you knew you were going to rely on him at some point, but I think he's even been better than what they anticipated coming in. So I don't think that they would, because he's been so effective, I don't think they're going to use him on the midweek.
Yeah.
Like I think they'll save that spot for maybe a Grant Cunningham or a Hunter Vincent, some of these kind of next level starters, because I think Darden can impact multiple games on a weekend and be a high leverage guy. And I think they're excited about him and Juan Vargas.
Before I let you go, you said Jorian has got the body of Jace and the athletic profile of Braden. So
that's layman's terms, right?
Yeah, I know.
I'm not saying he's exactly that.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that still sounds extremely impressive.
If you haven't been to Bluebell yet and seen any of the scrimmages in the fall or the open one on Saturday, and you're going to show up this weekend, just look at him.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to the ballpark, find Jorian Wilson, and you're like, just even somebody that's not a baseball person. Like, you're not a baseball person. You see Jorian Wilson, you're like, oh, that looks way different than everybody else out there. And like Coach Earley said, he's not raw, he's inexperienced, and there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Right? His tools are incredibly fluid, and the baseball movements are there. He just hasn't done it against high-level competition, like Coach Earley said, with Braden and Jace and Gavin and Sorrell. Those guys were like
came up the ranks,
high-level baseball players from the time they were 11, 12 years old, and they're playing against the best of the best every weekend of their baseball lives until they go to college. And Jorian, just his background, his story is so much different than that coming out of Hallettsville. So, how do they bring him along because you want to talk about elevating the ceiling of your entire team. And Coach Earley said, first rounder Gavin Grahovic, first rounder Caden Sorrell, first rounder Chris Akopian. Those are potential, but that's what a lot of people have these mock drafts, have those guys in some form or fashion going in the first round or early second. You want to talk about adding another piece to that type of talent and getting your overall talent ceiling of your roster to as high as it can be, then Jorian Wilson's in the lineup, because he's different, man. Like, his athletic skill set is different. And so what happens if Coach Earley says, I'm going to roll the dice. I think he's played well enough in the preseason. I think he's ready for this. What happens if they roll that dice and in the open weekend he hits a couple balls over the fence, and then Jorian starts believing, hey, like, I can do this.
Kind of, it's different, but TK last year was kind of like, he got his opportunity, he made the most of it.
Yeah, and I think that helped settle TK in early.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at like Jace's freshman year, Jace struggled. If you'll remember, Jace struggled to start, but they didn't have the depth to like overcome that. So Jace just kept getting opportunity. And once Jace figured out, like once Jace ran into a couple balls and got some confidence, then you saw Jace take off and he broke that freshman home run record.
Yeah.
Gavin really never struggled off the bat as a freshman, and he then broke Jace's home run record. So like, if Jorian Wilson starts going early and he starts going like, man, like, hey, like, I can do this, I'm ready for this, then that freshman home run record is in jeopardy again. Like, he hits the ball 120 miles an hour. These are like Jack Caglione exit velocity numbers. But the good thing about this team, and I know we got to go to a break, the good thing about this team is that they have built in some depth where if Jorian isn't ready, then Jake Dewar, Wesley Jordan, and some Sawyer Farr, some of these guys, Travis Chestnut, who's had a really good preseason, like, they can absorb it. They're not so reliant upon this highly touted, inexperienced freshman. If they run him out there and he's not ready, then they've got some experience to go behind him and kind of pull him along.
Thank you, Brian. Yep. Appreciate you. We're talking about our friends at Guarantee Bank and Trust. They have over a century of experience serving Texans as one of Texas' most respected community banks. I know Brandon really well there. He's their market president. Jared Salvato's awesome there as well. They've been serving Aggie Land as your community bank with 3 convenient locations. You got the Bryan College Station. They are deeply invested in this region. 33 locations across Texas, from East Texas to DFW to Houston to Central Texas. And as I mentioned, right here in town with those 3 great locations. Wherever you are, let Guarantee Bank and Trust make local decisions for you from people that you know and you trust. They want to grow stronger with their community, and their commitment is to help this Bryan College Station market thrive alongside their other Texas homeowners. They're known for their exceptional relationship-based banking, whether you're buying a home, running a business, or beginning your financial journey. Make sure that you go say hi to Brandon Sears here in the Bryan College Station. And remember, 33 statewide locations. It is Guarantee Bank and Trust. Guarantee Bank and Trust, a division of Glacier Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, here for Bryan College Station and Texas communities. The website, gnty.com. Yeah, I think of Luke Evangelist when this song comes on, and Mark French. They did their post-game commentary after the loss to Florida's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. We go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. That's where we find our buddy Mark French. What's up, man? How you been?
Hey guys, good morning. Good morning from Dallas. It was good to be in College Station over the weekend. Certainly appreciate Luke letting me crash his shindig, but tough loss for the Ags, but what an awesome environment. Still playing high-level basketball. Those are the kind of dogfights you want to be in. So happy to be on this morning.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And I wish I could have joined you. I know we talked about watching the game together. It was a rare night. So whenever you texted me about going to the game, my boys are like, Dad, we'll be home to watch the game with you. Then they didn't come home. So Elizabeth and I had a date night. It was nice. We went to dinner and then came back and watched the game. And that game was like, it wasn't over in the first 10 minutes. But, it felt over, right? And, I know a 20-point lead isn't insurmountable for this offense, but it just something seemed off early on.
Yeah, no, certainly. I think their size, affected us. If we played them again, I don't think we'd go out and shoot like we did against Georgia. I think they're really, really sound defensively. That's a top 25 team on offense and a top 25 team on defense. They're Elite Eight, Final Four good. Their size, it looked like an NBA team at times. It just pops out at you, particularly in person. We're already a little undersized, but even against the rest of the conference and country, they have a lot of length. They're strong, right? Like their wings and bigs. They just do a really good job. And, I thought we fought. But sometimes when you're not hitting shots, it does become demoralizing a little bit. I don't think we'll shoot that poorly again. I mean, we started off 1 of 17. So I think their length. I guess at the bottom line is their length affected our shot making ability, and paired with us not shooting well.
Mark, how much of it was you think? And first off, Florida's really good, so that I don't want to take away from that. But fatigue and 3 games in a week and all these teams go through these parts of the season where their legs catch up with them. It just seems so out of character for A&M to miss those shots, and some of it might have been they were pressing a little bit.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and it never fails that there's certain group chats and text threads after the game that are running to the cliffs, and I'm like, guys, just settle down. This team's you were just playing for first place in the SEC. And so, like I told Luke, we gotta root this battered Aggie syndrome out. We gotta separate football and basketball as well. Basketball is a completely different game. And, you're coming off 2 road games at Georgia, at Bama on a Wednesday night, and then you flip around and play a Saturday night primetime. I think the fatigue definitely plays a role in that. And I think there's ebbs and flows to a season, right? Basketball is so cyclical, man, and especially with a high variance team like we can be. It's great to have firepower, but sometimes that firepower just needs you got to regroup. And reality is, if we get hot at the right time, we can beat anyone in the country. And so losing 2 games to 2 of the other top 2 teams in the conference isn't going to kill you long term. All this stuff's quad 1. As long as you go take care of business the rest of the way, we're going to be in really great shape. And so there does not need to be any sort of panic meter. This team is a really darn good basketball team. And if we get, Rylan and Ruben back into a rhythm, I think the rest of that core, right, with Aggie and Marcus and Pop coming on, you got a nice core here forming of 7-8 guys. And then some others that can come off the bench.
Mark, let's stay with that topic, the cliff jumpers. I didn't think A&M was a better team than Florida. I just didn't. So it didn't mean I didn't think they could win. I think if they shot well at home and, maybe they can steal one. So my whole thing is, this is a team that is competing for a top spot in the SEC that almost feels like, really? How? So I'm having fun regardless. And last year's team, a veteran-built team, had a stretch where they lost 5 games, and they still made it to the tournament. They looked good, in the first game of the tournament. So, it's a story. It's not just a chapter, right?
That's 100% right. Basketball that's part of it. You're going to go through these droughts. You're going to get on hot streaks. You just got to come to live with it. And as a fan base, we got to continue to evolve and mature and just realize, hey, this is part of the process, right? And reality is we're in a really good spot in year one. Bucky is going to only continue to recruit. I think he is going to be an ace recruiter. I was around him a little bit, pregame, postgame. Was certainly great to see Liucci. He introduced me to Michael Earley. Got to see Logan Lee, but I was also around the team a little bit. I was right behind the bench. Man, he's a confident guy. I think he's going to be an ace recruiter. I think fans are going to see that this cycle. We're going to come back with an even more talented team. And again, I always use it kind of feels like a Nate Oates or early, even Todd Golden team do a little bit. And the fact we're getting up and down, you can tell everything's in place. He's got an unbelievable staff in place. I'm not worried. And those are two of the better teams we'll play in conference. Just go take care of business against Missouri. We're going to be right back where we need to be at 8-3 in conference. So it's just part of the game of basketball. You gotta learn to just kind of go with it and get hot at the right time and be peaking come March.
Well, we talked about this stretch. Like if they can come out of it 2-3, they'd be looking okay, right? They'd be okay. If they can go 3-2, which, now it seems to be the best that they can do, it doesn't seem it is. So how important is this middle game here with Missouri, considering it's winnable, it's at home, you've lost 2 in a row, and it could really kind of just change the bad vibes, if you will.
Yeah, no, and I think it's a pivot point game, right? You lose this one, and you're done with 3 straight, and you're going on the road to an extremely impressive Vanderbilt team. I had the opportunity to watch them play Kentucky a week or two ago. I do think it's a pivot point game. I think that's fine to say. I think Bucky would probably tell you that. And I think we'll embrace it and go out and put a good game together. I wanted to touch on this. Post game I was hanging around. Who's the first person to come out of the locker room? It was Ruben Dominguez. He came out and got 100 makes in to flush it out of his system. I love that. And, we're talking about building the fabric of this program. That's the kind of guy you want to do it with, right? I'm fine. If he's going to miss some shots, no worries, man. You come out and you have that level of talent and then you pair it with that kind of work ethic. That's what we want to be building towards. And I think we're starting to see what we're going to get from the guards, okay? I think Marcus, Pop, some of these other guys, we have a really good guard group forming. I think if you were to ask me, Mark, what's this season going to come down to? I think it comes down to Ruben and Rylan, right? It's can our wings produce at that high level? Rylan got into a little bit of foul trouble, right? Ruben, they were playing tight. His gravity is awesome because it tilts the floor, but they were shading his way. Rylan got a couple tough fouls. He's got to stop reaching in the backcourt. We got to get in a film session, get that fixed. But high level, I think it comes down to the wings. You know what you're getting from Aggie. He was awesome battling, Condon, some of these other, the bigs for Florida. One of the guys had 16 rebounds, I think. So, Aggie's battling. The guards are evolving. But I think it's going to come down to the wings. And those are 2 of your most talented players. They got to play like it. Last thing for you. You played basketball at a high level. Was Rylan Griffin's foul that big of a deal that should have caused the K? I feel like just I mean, maybe it's not a basketball play, but whatever. To get that response, I guess, is my question. Yeah, and so look, I watched the whole thing unfold. I also watched an incredibly disrespectful post-game performance by Todd Golden and that staff, and it was just lacked a little bit of class. He was chirping at the fans, dropping F-bombs. I think he's better than that. We got to be better than that as leaders in this conference, as those coaches. They got to be better. But no, I don't think it was a basketball play. What fans don't realize is there's probably 4 or 5 instances of stuff that happened before that, leading up to it. And then even beyond that, sometimes you get into stuff that's happened since high school or on the EYBL circuit. You never know how far back some of that goes. So I'm fine with a little chippiness. I actually think it's good for basketball, and it's particularly A&M. I think fans can get into that, but I do think maybe it crossed the line a little bit, but certainly the after game antics and shenanigans were completely overblown. That got out of hand. Any other opposing coaching staff should not be chirping at our players, charging at them. Hopefully, I thought the A&M people did a great job, and we'll see what the league office says.
Mark, I appreciate it, man. Have a great week.
All right, guys. Gig 'em. Bye.
Gig 'em. Mark French on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll come back with a short segment. Then Billy Liucci's TexAgs Live. Everyone, David Nuño here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever. And also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group. And they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. Haley Dorsey at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. I left you no time, but can you give us an update on what happened in softball this weekend?
Softball went 4-1 this weekend over the Aggie Classic. They had 3 run rule wins, and they fell to Texas Tech, but I thought they did pretty good against them. Tech had those 2 leadoff home runs, but then we responded with 2 leadoff home runs, and then there was only 1 more score. So I think that softball should be very optimistic this season.
Awesome. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with On TexAgs Today and Billy Liucci. We are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Hour number 3 of the program. Should have Billy in studio at some point. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center, though. I would like to hear about what is on TexAgs today. I see, the halftime thread has been closed. That's unfortunate. I'm sure that was a real civil discussion. What else do we have, Haley?
On TexAgs today, we have Kay Nagley's recap of women's basketball win over Alabama, Luke Evangelist's 5 thoughts over A&M's loss to Florida, and Bronny's insight to 4 key veterans returning for baseball season. And then later today, we have another baseball preview series, an NIL interview with Ashton Bethel-Roman, and 2 recruiting interviews with Jason Howe talking to John Meredith and Bryson Thrower.
I got a question about the halftime. I don't want to talk about Bad Bunny, but we have a 254 who texted the show. Worst halftime show ever. Okay. I am curious, how do we decide that? Question. I really want to know, I don't know what the best one is. For me, I don't know. Okay, so do we base it on, I don't like the music. I don't like the political message. Why am I yelling? Or do we base it on, if you like Bruno Mars, I assume you liked that halftime show.
Mm-hmm. Didn't he have J-Lo? Or
no, J-Lo
Beyonce?
J-Lo did it with Shakira.
Oh.
And by the way, that was before I worked here. People complained about that. Some people really enjoyed it, to be honest with you. There was a couple of things in there that people liked. The colors of the music. But what, are we experts on halftime? If it's not your cup of tea, okay, you're not going to like it. I mentioned ZZ Top. At the time, I did not like ZZ Top. I think they performed. Am I right about that? You can fact check me. Maybe they didn't perform. I feel like they did. I'm using them. Michael Jackson. Nick and I were talking about he was beloved, right? Well,
ZZ Top did perform in 1997.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't go to the ZZ Top meetings, all right? That wasn't my jam.
I would have loved it.
Yeah, you would have. Yeah, you would have loved Megadeth. Ozzy Osbourne.
No, not a Megadeth fan.
Ozzy Osbourne?
Yes, that would have been cool.
I would have changed the channel. It wasn't my music. So worst one ever. Maybe. I don't know. How do we decide that? I didn't understand English. I didn't understand Spanish. Okay, that'd be a reason not to like it. I told Nick and Haley that if K-pop performed at halftime, wouldn't watch.
I'll take Bad Bunny over K-pop. Thank you very much.
God. Is K-pop a person or
it's a genre.
It's a genre?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a group.
Well, they have the golden song that they would always play during the volleyball tournament. Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
That's K-pop.
Okay, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
If they did Russian polka at the Super Bowl, I'm out. I get it. I agree. I listen to Spanish music, so it was cool to me. Whatever, right? But do we love Prince? I think he's universally loved.
Yeah, I think he was.
Fair enough.
So, I don't know. You want to say it's the worst ever? For you, probably. Absolutely. I'll ask him here in a minute because I'm sure he's got an opinion on it. But, I can already hear the breath. But whatever you think, if it's not for you, fine. Change station.
How many people watch Bad Bunnies?
It was the...
Shall not do this in the 8 o'clock hour?
Yep.
It was because of the text came in. Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance was rated extremely high, with near reports saying it was the most watched halftime in performance history, drawing over 135 million viewers. Okay?
Oh.
Beating Kendrick from a couple years ago. Hi, Billy.
I thought Kendrick wasn't that good.
I didn't think Kendrick's performance was that good either.
I thought Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg,
my
50
favorite one.
Cent was great.
Yep.
I thought Rihanna was great, and I thought her show compared to the one last night was no comparison in terms of last night was a million times better, the production.
Oh, production was great, yeah.
The show. I just my personal preference, I don't care if it's Spanish, Italian, English, there's some Italian rock band that I can listen to. I just like a halftime performance where I really love the music and just being real honest, I like to sing. I like knowing the words and sing.
That's fair.
And I like knowing the songs. So Rihanna's performance didn't compare to Bad Bunny's at all to me. But
all those songs are bangers that you know.
Every time she would hit a song, you'd be like, oh, I forgot about that one from and it was literally 100% of them.
I agree.
So That's why I liked those better. Like nothing will top Prince to me playing the guitar, Purple Rain.
Yeah.
You know, like, but if you know, like, I didn't think the Red Hot Chili, they weren't the headliner, but they were part of one time.
Yeah.
Their performance doesn't compare to some of these. They just came out on stage, but they're singing a hit song I like. I just don't know any Bad Bunny. I liked the Lady Gaga cameo. The Ricky Martin one.
Ricky Martin was cool.
Totally unexpected,
Yeah.
and it took, people were trying to, I was with like a wide age range of people, older than me, younger than me, and like nobody was around our age, so I was kind of the only one that knew who he was, because that was like when we were in like high school, college is when he was popular. So anyway, there was, I liked the presentation of it all. I'm like, the dude clearly like put in a lot of like work and thought into it. He whatever the opposite of half-assing it was.
Yeah.
Seems like he poured like everything into that, took it very seriously. I could be wrong, but I didn't see, I'm sure there'll be subliminal,
There was a couple of things in there. There was a couple of things.
But fairly, I'm going to say, not in your face political.
Yeah, I agree.
And look, to be honest, like, I know people around the country, like a lot of people say, change the channel. I went and watched Turning Point. If they'd have had Creed on that,
you would have changed the station.
Or if they'd have had like, I say Creed half jokingly, I do like, but I mean, I'm trying to think of like some other bands, like I said, Chili Peppers or like anybody that I just really, really liked. I would have gone to there or MTV or CBS or wherever channel it was on and watched it instead. But I've never really liked Kid Rock at all. So that to me didn't sway me. And I was in a house with a bunch of people and nobody was like, I don't think anybody in there was a Bad Bunny fan, but nobody was like just so motivated to get up and go grab the remote and mute it and go pull up. So, like it's just, everybody's just kind of hanging out talking. And as the thing went on, like, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, look at that. Those, like.
So I come from it, and we can move on to basketball, but I come to it from two different perspectives. As a proud Latin American, Cuban American in this country, it was cool to see Latin American culture. I didn't think it fit with San Francisco.
I do like that too,
right?
By the way.
But we came to this country, and I was born here. My parents came to this country, and they assimilated, and they learned English. And English is the language we speak in the United States, even though there's a huge Latin American. So that I was kind of torn, because
I don't mind that he sat there and sang in Spanish, and I don't mind. I actually liked the whole like tribute to Latin America and I liked all that part of it. I like
you just didn't know the songs.
I like the message of unity without. I hate when, and again, I could be wrong because I was half-assed paying attention to it, but I haven't seen so much outrage or anything. If you want to do a message of unity, far too often to me in this country lately, and this is unpolitical because I think everyone does it that's in power or at some level of celebrity. They want to preach unity, and while doing so are divisive.
Yep.
And that to me is total crap. And that's when you just kind of lose me as an audience. And I'm just like, yeah, it's just more of the same. So it didn't seem like that. Again, like if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We're just talking. I didn't rehearse this or anything. So to like, and as far as his music goes, I said it, and there were some people like your age there too in the house, and I'm like, to me, if this music was on in a club right now, I'd be great with it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, like the beat and it puts you in a good mood and makes you want to dance, but I just didn't know any of it because I don't hang around with you enough socially because you shut me out of your,
Because I like to be
parties.
On time.
You don't invite me to your Cuban parties.
I don't have parties. I'm a robot.
You don't invite me to Bad Bunny when he's in concert. No, and look, I'll tell you what, I didn't like the last song at all. Like, I don't know if that's one of his popular songs.
Debí tirar más fotos. Oh, such a jam.
Yeah, it sucked.
Even Nick Savage loves those.
Is that where he's like, oh, no. He's like, like just, it wasn't even like singing. It was just like walk and talk. It was like a walk and talk.
Yeah,
it was like Luke Evangelist walking out of Reed Arena.
There's a part of the song where he kind of mumbles that part.
I thought that was like, it kind of slowed down the energy of the whole show.
Yeah.
I liked all the celebrity cameos dancing. Everybody looked like they were.
I think Pedro Pascal was there, and Carol G.
Who is Carol G? Everybody knows Carol G.
She's part of our community. She goes to our meetings.
Okay, I didn't know. See, I'm unfamiliar with her.
Yeah,
I'm very familiar with Jessica Alba.
She was there. Yeah. Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal.
Cardi B.
Cardi B. Obviously.
She likes it like that.
Cardi B. Who was
Alex
Earl? Yeah.
Love Alex Earl.
All y'all do, and by that I mean every white girl under the age of what, 30, under the age probably of 35. She's wildly popular. Guess you could say she's part of our community.
What?
Actually, I don't think so. She's not Italian.
Shall we talk basketball?
Yes, I do want to talk basketball.
So that couldn't have gone worse in the first few minutes of both halves to start. Like, it was just...
And that's what's crazy is after the first half, and you're like, okay, you're down 11. You know, if you go on a little run to start the half, you keep this thing interesting, give yourself a shot, and then the start of the second half was layup drill, layup line, dunk drill. That was a rough outing, man. That was about as rough as they come. Florida's really damn good, and you caught them at the worst time. We always talk about this. Like, when do you want to catch one of these teams? When do you want to catch, when you're trying to upset somebody, when are you catching them? I thought they caught Alabama at a very bad time because they had just gotten stomped by Florida. They were 4-4 playing at home. They were desperate. They could not afford to lose that game. Florida is playing their best ball of the year. They look like a Final Four team. They had just beaten Alabama every bit as bad as they just beat you. They beat them, I think, 100-77. They beat them by 23 points. They ran them out. It wasn't close. Same thing. By halftime, I think they were probably up more than the 11 they were up this game. And then on top of that, they had an off week. I don't think. I don't know if A&M how many times out of 10 they could beat Florida, and I'm debating whether it's 0, 1, or 2. That's a terrible matchup, I feel like, for the Aggies in terms of that size and stuff. But they certainly weren't going. If you're going to play them, you'd have loved to have seen Florida play on Wednesday night also. Late Wednesday night, practice Thursday, practice early Friday, head to College Station. Instead, they played Saturday. They didn't play Saturday to Saturday. That is the perfect bye week to get ready for a team like the Aggies. So that combo, it made a difficult task almost impossible. But it wasn't impossible. And you do sit there and go, you were down 11 at the half. And how many shots did you miss that if you go back, you say, we could have and should have made those? And there was a lot of them. But I will say, I actually had breakfast with Logan this morning. So I don't want to take too much of his stuff, but I agreed with him. It's like so many of those shots were missed that you think are easy, but they were mentally rushed because of Florida's size and length. Even the three-pointers. But there were just certain things in that game, Nuño, that you're watching. You're like, God dang, man, like they're getting rebounds with their arms up at about 9 foot, catching them with 2 hands, landing on 2 feet, and just bunny hopping back up. And laying them up from a foot from the basket. And no one ever interferes with it because they're so big. They have these 6'10", 6'11" guys like Haupt taking the ball up the court against the A&M press, dribbling through it. They've got, Lee, it's Lee, I'm sorry. Lee he looks like a small guard from Princeton. He's got Jakari Lane and Hill by 4, 5, 6 inches in height at 6'4". There's just a lot. There were a lot of matchups there. Chinaloo, whatever, can pretty much guard everyone on the floor, and it made for a brutal. I thought a brutal matchup. And you got A&M's guards at the top of the, at the top of the key, 3-point line, and they're being covered by 6'10", 6'11" dudes that can stand from me to you off of them or further.
Yeah.
And by the way, if they drive past them, which is exactly what I'd let you do if we played, let them go by, and then they're so short, you just swat their shot, and that's what they were.
I do the up and under.
That's what
and then get the foul, then
that would make it tougher.
Yeah.
But they can try the up and under, and there's probably someone on the other side to block it, or they're still so long. So like, it just they looked. And by the way, I'm sitting there going, I remember 2 years ago seeing guys like, 10 and what is Condon? Is he 7? I forget his number, but Condon and Hout. Like, I remember them being there 2 years ago at Reed Arena going, I mean, these guys are really good, and they were all young. Now they're national champions, and they're back. It's. I mean, just watching these highlights, even that made layup, you saw how he had to shoot it there, like way away from his body, throwing it up from his hip. You miss layups that way.
Yeah.
Because you're getting further from the basket when you shoot it. So, yeah, it was a tough one, and the Aggies played bad.
You're not going to win
that
games.
combo, you don't have a chance.
A team that shoots lights out, that doesn't shoot lights out, against a team that does. I mean, they're the polar opposites of the way you play.
Yeah.
And you didn't play your game.
No. A&M had to hit shots, and Bucky said that to me right after the game, and I guess I saw where he said it in the post game too. Like, they had to hit like 15 threes that game, and that's to give yourself a shot to win it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were off their game. I think in part mentally they were. That was the first time I've seen them kind of like really pressing, but a lot of it had to do with how good Florida is, and part of that is their length and their size. And I mean, that's a team that's been assembled with a bunch of 5-star athletes and transfers, and they're not defending champs, and they might do it again. So Aggie's going to have to play better. This is a tough. So this Missouri game, nothing is a must win. You're trying to get to a certain number, and right now we are not in must win territory. But this is one that you really do need to win to make life easy on yourself.
Yep.
And also, so I think they're going to be. This is the first time this year that I think A&M's going to be under some we got to have this one type pressure.
Yeah.
They clearly went into Georgia with that. They went into Austin with it. They've played with that mindset, but now I think it's real. These next 3 games, you really need to win your home games. If they go 3-0 in these next 3, they're in. Then you start playing for bye, double bye, conference seeding, tournament seeding, and just rolling into the postseason with confidence. But 2-1 right here, even if they go 2-1, and you don't want to have to go win at Vandy to do that. Now, OU did the other night, Saturday night, so it can be done. And Vandy's been up and down lately,
Banged up,
but you don't want to go into that weird arena on the road and have to win. So I think this Missouri game, and you don't want to go into Vandy riding a 3-game losing streak either. And by the way, Missouri beat Florida. That's good. Oh, they look unbeatable. Missouri beat them. Mizzou's fighting for a tournament spot of their own. They've got some bad losses that are going to really hurt them, but the Aggies are going to have to play well Wednesday night and kind of take back Reed Arena. And if they do, I love their chance to get, Ole Miss at home after, and end up. You want to be sitting right after these 3 games at 9-4 in the league. 5 left, needing a couple to get in. Probably going to be favored in 3 of those 5.
Yeah.
You have a great shot. And by the way, I still think you can get in at 10. But I'm just saying, to me, target that 11, 2 of these next 3. So this Mizzou game is really big.
We'll hit a break. We'll come back.
When we come back, I want to talk about
let me guess.
Todd Golden and how much I'd love to drive a shoulder right into that guy's chest.
And what about the assistant coach?
less than Todd Golden.
Okay.
You're the head coach. You set the tone. Assistant coach, crybaby.
I'd like to set that up. I'd like to watch that. Farming and ranching families do think different. They're not working for today. They're building for generations to come. And Heritage Films does a great job of capturing that message when they tell your story. Chance McClain and his team do documentaries about family businesses, family ranches, and just families overall. He does these 2-hour documentaries that are just like you see on Netflix and beyond, and they are fantastic. Chance will come to you. He'll bring his team over there. They'll do it over a couple hours, and 8 weeks later, you're going to have yourself a 2-hour documentary that you can share with the future generations, especially those that are going to inherit the land that you have or just your grandkids. It was very important for our family to do one for my dad, and I highly recommend it for your family. You can check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, or call them up, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341. Oh, look at this. Some good music in the background.
What was it?
A guy named Benito. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Billy, I am glad. I didn't know if you would want to get into this topic because we kind of did talk about it from a different perspective in the first hour. But Todd Golden, a guy you wouldn't mind shoulder checking, is that what you said?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I just thought you had a bunch of Florida fans in the mentions.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny. They were talking about a flagrant from Rylan Griffin, and there was another one, and they were, A&M cheap and da-da-da. Look, there was a lot. I would challenge any Florida fan to go watch that game and see what was going on with the checks and the hits and the hand fouls and the hard fouls that weren't called and the ones that were. I don't care about any of that. I'm okay with the way that game was played. I like Florida's physicality. Yeah. I hate a team that has a bunch of real, 4 or 5-star athletes that tries to get by on talent because they don't typically do crap. That we've seen that. Those are John Calipari Kentucky teams.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason Florida won a national title last year. It's not just off talent. I mean, they play a style of basketball that, I respect the physicality of it all. I don't, come on, not even to mention a Florida fan in my mentions about a Rylan Griffin forearm to the back of a guy that's,
the active
6 inches and 70 pounds bigger that didn't cause him to fall or hurt. It's a foul. It should have been called. It was flagrant.
Yeah.
And it's a cheap hit to the lower back. But I mean, let's not try because it's social media to act like that warranted that post-game reaction. And I had people that saw Golden and said that, and it's alleged because I didn't see this part from where I was sitting, but that he basically was the instigator for them staying out there on the logo when kind of the players kind of saw what was going on. Okay, let's, they were going to go over there to where their fans were, and he's instigating. I also saw him turn to a fan and cuss them out in game. One of our former employees called him, I was talking to him today, called him classless for doing it in game, and he turned and dropped bleep you, bleeper, bleeper. Wait, let me say it how I can. Bleep you, mother bleeper. In game to a fan. This guy, and so, pardon me for thinking that that's ridiculous. I'm glad we don't have coaches on any level that do that. And before you say it, yes, I do wish we had a coach to win a national championship, but you could do that without doing that. There's lots of them. It was childish. I thought it was, it's the type thing that, with these college athletes, here's the deal. If one of the A&M players would have said, yeah, you're not going to say that to me from this close, or you're not going to be on our court doing that, and ran over and punched one of them in the face, and then they punched back and a whole brawl broke out. And if the head coach was doing anything but trying to prevent that before it happened, it's on him. And Florida is a great team, and they are a team that will absolutely contend for a Final Four berth, if not more, if not a repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine someone gets clocked in the eye and it's a fractured orbital, or 3 of your players are suspended the next 2 games on both teams. That affects you. That affects Florida. So, to me, the head coach should have been way out in front of that, breaking it up, and that assistant coach as well. You let Bucky McMillan deal with his players, and you have a comment, and you say it to him, hey, I thought your guys are cheap. I didn't like that, or something. That's what you do. So I'm sorry for disagreeing. I also disagree with what is consistently out there about multiple coaches on your campus. So that's just me. So I wouldn't be on a high horse right now if I were in Gainesville talking about coaches, whether that be, I don't know, whether that be basketball, whether that be baseball, whether that be anything. I wouldn't be
He was in the news
riding
not
a
long
high
ago
horse. And don't be
himself.
that mad because you got your ass whipped the last 2 times these teams met in football. I'm just saying.
If you're looking for real peace of mind when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas with no sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment management. And what sets them apart is the over 9 CFPs, the CFA, and the CPA all on staff. They take their credentials seriously, and they work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel good about. You can learn more by going to paragon-adv.com or give them a call. 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Hey, everybody. Bad Bunny in the background. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Luke Evangelist joining us here in studio to talk a little Aggie hoops. We go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Bucky McMillan joining us to chit-chat a little bit about the week ahead and looking back. Bucky, good morning. How are you, sir?
What's up, fellas? Y'all doing okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just kind of want to talk about the past couple games and how you move on from that with Missouri on Wednesday.
Yep. Well, I would say Missouri's a good team. They beat Florida earlier this season. As we know in the SEC, it's a gauntlet. We'll have to play really well. We are playing for a lot. We know that. We put ourselves in a great position, and we got to, I'll say this, keep playing good basketball. We didn't play good versus Florida, but guess what? It was a week ago. We were at Georgia and played maybe our best game of the year. 4 days ago or 5 days ago, whenever that was, last Wednesday at Alabama, we played another one of our best games of the year. Didn't win, but we were right there to win in a one-possession game on the road against an Alabama team who's been a top 10 team at parts of the season, and they played really well. So, two of our last 3 games that were in a short time frame were some of our best games of the year. Before that, we played South Carolina and Mississippi State and played some of our better games there. So we've been playing great basketball. We just didn't play well last game. And it was kind of a snowball effect when you start the game 1 for 27 from the field. We're not left with a lot of options on where we go from there, besides, trying to speed tempo up, try to get the ball back in different ways, try to score in different ways. That kind of made the game get skewed just because of the start. So I say that to say, we got to keep having a positive attitude of we've been playing really good basketball. We had an off game last game. We can't let that carry over into this game. And understand that since league play started, we've been doing a lot of the right things, and we got to keep doing that because this Missouri team's a very good team.
Yeah, Missouri, Bucky, is one of those teams that certainly fighting for a spot in the NCAA tournament, and they're going to come in here with some nice wins under their belt. We were talking earlier, one of the teams that actually beat Florida. So, certainly a tough opponent coming in. How'd you feel about the team's mindset following that game? I guess you guys are going to practice here right after this, so you'll get a better feel for it. But is that something you're not even concerned with? You know them well enough already, or is that is that going to be the message, kind of everything you said a second ago?
Yeah, I think that we got a veteran group. I think one thing that we feel bad about is we just had such a great fan support there. We wanted to bring it home for those fans.
Yeah.
But we also got a veteran group that knows that, hey, you're just going to have a night where you just have where the lid's on the basket. You're going to have some of those nights. And unfortunately, when you do it versus a very good team. So I told our guys after the game, don't let, they got a lot of dunks in the last 12, 14 minutes that they would have never got if we weren't down by 25 points and put ourselves in that position where we just pretty much had to go to, hey, we're going to go to steal it or y'all are going to get a dunk mode.
Yeah.
Why do we do that? Because that's the only way to have a chance to win. Now, we don't give up a lot of dunks doing that, but they didn't have any of those dunks the first, 25 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to pick my guys up, and they knew that, hey, don't let that affect us. We had to go to a different deal there just to give ourselves a chance to call back. And guess what? When we were down by 28 with 15 minutes left, we ended up losing by 19. Hey, it gave us a chance to have more possessions, to make some shots. But trust me when I say this, and they know this.
Mm-hmm.
If you come out there and you make shots, we thought we needed to make 15 threes in the game. We made 9. There's a different feel to that game, and there's a game pressure on them, and we're not limited on what we're going to have to do on defense, not going to have to gamble as much. And they know that. Why do they know that? Because these guys are veterans. They've all played college basketball, and they know that there's games like that happen, and you got to get the heck over it because guess what? Missouri's not going to feel sorry for us.
No, I get the feeling you guys are ready to get back on. You probably, if it was up to the players, they'd probably want to be playing tonight. But I was going to ask you, with that start, which is just uncommon for for anybody. It was one of those nights. But how much did their length play into that? Like, I'm not talking about even sometimes altering shots, but just maybe a tick sooner than the guys would have wanted to shoot them. And in some of those, you can call it a missed layup. And sometimes to me, it's you might miss a putback or a layup because of what's in the back of your head. Like, there's somebody, some kind of redwood tree around there when you're trying to get to the basket. How much did their length factor into that? Or did you think it was just, man, the shots just were not falling?
I think their length had a lot to do with it, but I do think it was a mixture of both.
Yeah.
But they're one of the best, they're analytically one of the best defenses, and they're one of the best rebounding teams analytically in the history of college basketball. That we are the second best defense in the league. They are the first, and they're one of the first. And there's a big gap.
Yeah.
They're one of the first best defenses nationally right now. What makes them so good, besides bringing back a lot of guys, starters off their national championship team, they have length and switchability.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. When they can switch in their five, their center is quick enough, and he's still nearly 7 feet tall, can guard a point guard, and they can switch with their three, one of their guards, and they can guard a center because they're so long. It's hard to gain an advantage, right? And so all of that affects the game significantly. Now, would I think that, hey, it's a 1 for 27 start? No, probably a 10 for 27 start would have been more like it, from the field. But that's what's made them really good. They're obviously a good offensive group, but their length coupled with their athleticism has made them a really good defensive team, and they're probably ahead of where they were last year, the way they're playing right now.
Yeah.
And having said that, on the right night, in the right circumstances, we come out there and go 10 for 27. We're winning that game. There's a different game pressure to those guys. But you got to tip your hat to them because they're a dang good team. They're very, very, very tough out.
Well, I hope we find out how tough and out they are, because the way that game ended the other night, this is just me talking. You don't have to chime in, but I would love to see them in some form or fashion in Nashville. But anyway, Luke, what do you got?
When you look at Marcus Hill and what he's done over the last 3 games, just what does a healthy Marcus Hill do for this team, and how good is it that he's finally recovered from what was hindering him for the first 7 games of conference play?
Well, Marcus is such an energy guy and an effort guy that, he's not just some smooth glider out there. So an injury that he's getting over is probably going to affect him more than anybody, because he's so aggressive and gives so much effort. Now that he's feeling good, you can tell he's a step faster. He's better on defense. He's not playing tentative. And, obviously we need that. He can, he's one of these guys that loves to play. As the season goes along, we don't have anybody on this team that's not amped to keep playing. Isn't that great? Sometimes you look at teams that are so withered and beaten down, they're like, all right, man, when is spring break coming up? We don't have anybody on this team like that. And but a guy like Marcus Hill, Marcus wishes there was never a break. He wished we had a game every single day. And that's always good, particularly as you get deeper in the season.
You take a look at Missouri, and you still have to play 3 of the 4 tallest teams in the conference. What do they do with their size? Guys like Sean Phillips, who are 7 feet, Mark Mitchell, 6'9". You've been able to hold your own on the glass with the rebounding battle, but what about it specifically does Missouri present for y'all? What have you seen from them?
They got length. When they have played well, they've been really good, obviously. Obviously with some of their wins I've mentioned, when their deal has just been consistency, but their ceiling's been really high. So, I'm sure they'll come in here and they'll be hungry to play well. Coach Gates does a great job with them. I think their biggest deal is they've proven that they can beat anybody. They are long, they are big, they're good on defense, not easy to score on. And then you look at just as in the SEC, some of their losses have been very close losses, could have gone either way.
Bucky, we appreciate it, sir. Thanks very much for your time.
Hey, thank y'all.
Thanks, Bucky. Appreciate it. See you Wednesday.
Bucky McMillan there on the Bucky's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with the final segment.
Hey, by the way,
Yeah.
For everything that I was saying earlier about Golden, kudos to Bucky for the way he handled all that, too. There's a flip side to that coin, right? We always talk about the people that act like idiots, and then sometimes the people that handle themselves, the way you want to see it handled, win or lose. So, again, I thought that the way the two acted was pretty telling.
Yeah, I agree. Daily Company, family-owned, licensed, and insured business. They offer HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and generator services available to you 247-365. When it comes to the HVAC, they'll take care of your thermostats. They'll take care of your refrigerant leaks, furnace failures, and seasonal tune-ups. Plumbing-wise, they take care of your leak repairs. I saw that, Billy. Clog drains, water heater installation, and maintenance to keep those pipes in the top shape. You've got electrical wiring and outlet repairs, generator maintenance, and installation. They serve all of Bryan College Station, Houston, and Austin. Upfront prices with no surprises. Contact the Daily Company, 979-260-2020. That is 979-260-2020. Or visit them at godaily.com to experience the daily difference. Who's running the 1 and 2s?
Is it just y'all just going straight Bad Bunny?
I'm not doing anything.
What I would have liked, if I was in charge of the music, I would have done like a montage of all the great Super Bowl performances.
The ones that we've all complained about over the years?
Yeah, like you start, I would do like start with Bad Bunny, go back a couple years to, I would just say like just start going with some, you start with Yesterdays and then you go with some classics because there were some good ones. You know which one was I thought was good at the time, but in hindsight just sucked? But at the time, it was like, oh, wow, how cool is that? It was like Aerosmith and NSYNC, and then like Nelly, and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, those of you that are our age, then it was like Britney Spears and Nelly came out. So I think it was like Nelly, Britney, NSYNC, and Aerosmith singing like maybe Walk This Way. I don't know. But anyway, at the time, you're like, oh, cool. And if you watched it today, it's
Not
like,
so good.
godly.
So Emily,
bad.
who's choosing the music today, she says, hour one was Team USA figure skating gold medal songs. Hour number two was miscellaneous. And hour number three was, I guess, the greatest halftime performance of all time, they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
They are. It was huge. Anyway.
Is that what they're saying?
No. I mean, it depends who you ask. A lot of people are saying no.
It's just like, I hate the fact that you can't just be like,
whatever.
You can't be like, yeah, it was fine. Like, I liked this about it. I didn't like this about it.
Move on.
I watched it. I didn't watch it. No matter what you say, it's like got to be political. It's like, it's not. Like, for me, it wasn't.
It wasn't for me.
For me, no, I mean, for me, like, I'm talking about, I'm not saying like my opinion of the deal. Because like I said, I have to go back and really rewatch it. I'm in a room full of people. We're all talking. But like, my act of watching it and my act of taking it in and how I felt about it was like 0.0% political. Like, I enjoyed watching it half-ass the way I was watching it.
A&M to hire a DB coach from Stanford, Paul Williams, so that if I have the group correctly.
Yeah, he's added to the staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I was reading, his defense is pretty good at Stanford, right? What did I see? 30 points per game the first season since 2018, specialized in preventing big plays. So he will be handling the nickels.
They could use that.
Huh?
They could use that.
Yeah.
Like, they need to, that's going to be an off-season point of emphasis is minimizing big plays. I mean, they did it. They cut way back in the passing game from 2 years ago to this past year. And now the goal, I'm sure, is going to be to cut back in the big plays while in the run game. And you just, you got to pay attention to these hires Elko makes because you never know, when he's going to promote from within because he likes to do that. And some people have a problem with that. I don't. I think when he makes these hires, he is already looking ahead to the what if, and he's trying to add people, I think, in his mind that are capable of ascending when that time comes, if that time comes.
Yeah.
It's almost become like recruiting, Nuño, where if you're starting, what position would you like to be? What would make you happy?
Let's go.
Nickel. You're starting nickel.
Okay, I'll be starting nickel, yeah.
If I'm Tyreek Chappelle and I'm a junior nickel and I'm, you're a college football coach, Elko or Jimbo or any of them, you're going, okay, well, who's my next nickel? Let's get him on campus and let's get him in the system and get a couple of years under his belt. So when Tyreek leaves, whether that's after his junior year or senior year, this guy can step in. It almost feels like that's what Elko likes to do in terms of his coaches. And that doesn't mean he has to. You don't have to be locked into that. You could get a coach here with that in mind and realize he's good, but I can do better. Or you can realize, man, I was wrong on this guy. He's not good enough to ascend. Or you can be like, yeah, he's exactly what I thought. I did a great job of evaluating him. And as soon as we have a need, not only at nickel, but even corner or safety, I can promote him to, So I think that's what goes into his mind when he makes these selections.
Football season is officially over, though. NFL ended yesterday in college, so we are now officially no more football, Billy.
I was trying to leave and just head home at the end of that game, and there's 4 minutes left, and I was like, gosh, it's the last 4 minutes of football till August. I mean, I guess technically, late July you'll get NFL preseason, but who watches that? It's literally till August. Before late August, September before we get games again. So that is always the crappy part of the Super Bowl being over, but we have spring football in roughly, a month?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, obviously, the draft. You'll get your football fix for probably, basically a good solid week there with the build-up. We've got Pro Day. So you got some football stuff,
Just not the games.
coming up here in the spring, and then you go through that real lull, and hopefully during that time you get distracted by things like postseason hoops, and if you're an NHL fan in Dallas, hopefully the playoffs. If you're an NBA fan in any of the big cities in Texas, hopefully you have that. But really, I guess Spurs fans have the best hope there. And then hopefully Aggie baseball, which starts this week, can be playing into June.
Got to drop it there. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you mañana.